Tonight, return of the heat. Temperatures expected to hit 30 degrees. Equipment upgrades. The PORD helps local firefighters. And appeal. The owners of a BC ostrich farms headed to the Supreme Court. The Peace region is about to get hit with another blast of warm weather as we head into one of the final weekends before kids head back to school. Starting today, temperatures will reach into the mid-20s. That's expected to be felt throughout the weekend. Then from Monday to Wednesday, temperatures are expected to hover around 30 degrees. You can expect Environment Canada to issue heat warnings for the region. The PRD is funding major health and safety improvements to two fire departments in the Peace. The Charlie Lake and Moberly Lake Fire Station are receiving $200,000 each to purchase new bunker gear. Their current gear is aging and contains PFAS, a synthetic chemical once used for heat and water resistance. The PRD says that chemical can lead to cancer, liver and kidney diseases, and other important health issues. Moberly Lake will also receive close to $18,000 to replace the engine of one of their trucks. The PRRD says these investments show its commitment to firefighters, health, and safety. ABC Ostrich Farm has launched its appeal to prevent the culling of its flock that had been infected with avian flu. Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood appealed an order by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency for mass cull after an avian flu outbreak in December. The Federal Court of Appeal says the stamping out policy of the agency is reasonable and that criteria in this case had been met. The owners called the news devastating while speaking with supporters.
Have no emergency stay order, and we are essentially just sitting open ducks in a field, waiting for the next steps of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
The farm says they are opening their gates to supporters this weekend so people can spend time with their 400 birds. Lawyers for the owners saying today they're appealing the decision to the Supreme Court of Canada. Some 60,000 public servants in Ontario have been ordered back to the office full-time. It's a controversial decision that has some here in British Columbia asking, could the province follow suit? CTV's Robert Buffum has the story.
Many in downtown Victoria work partly from home.
I find myself more productive because, honestly, there's fewer distractions at home.
90% in the office, but we have staff that are almost fully remote as well.
Public servants in Ontario will soon have to return full-time to the office. Doug Ford's government ordering them back.
I believe everyone's more productive when they're at work, and how do you mentor someone over a phone?
In BC, the NDP allows many of its 45,000-plus civil servants to work entirely from home, and since 2023, even from a different community.
That's a savings for the government. That means allows them to reduce their real estate footprint. That means the public save money, the taxpayers save money.
The province says it's not following Ford's lead, noting the BC government sees the benefits, including new employment opportunities for people living in other parts of the province, recruiting and retaining a great diversity of staff, and employees saving time on travel. The union that represents most of the public servants in BC is negotiating a new contract, and there's a strike vote currently underway. Its president says any change to remote work rules would trigger a major backlash.
One of the key issues on the table for our members is this issue of remote work.
But for businesses in the capital, the empty offices from remote workers are a major problem.
You know, it's really impacted particularly hospitality and retail, because those are people that used to have lunch, have coffee, do some of their shopping downtown that are simply not here anymore.
Still, for many office workers, including those in the public service, the chance to keep working, at least partly from home, is a perk they desperately don't want to lose.
Robert Buffum, CTV News.
The province has set its new housing targets for a new group of BC municipalities. The announcement comes as the province looked to expand upon its $19 billion Housing Targets program. It's an effort to address the high demand for housing across BC. Each mentioned municipality received a set of guidelines that recommends a total number of units built over a 5-year period. It is the fourth group of municipalities to receive guidelines about how many homes should be built. So far, the province has yet to deliver targets to any city in northern BC. Most Albertans will have to pay out of pocket for COVID vaccines this fall. This is unless they come here to BC. Our government here in BC confirms it will cover COVID immunization for any Canadian residents, although British Columbians will be the priority. Alberta is the only province that won't be providing free shots this fall as the federally funded program comes to an end. As of yesterday, healthcare workers in Alberta will still get free COVID vaccines. Premier Daniel Smith says the new policy announced in June all comes down to cost.
Well, we'll try it this way. This year we are trying to mitigate costs because it is an expensive intervention.
The Smith government announcing today the cost to buy each shot is $100. Those traveling to BC for a free vaccine will face some restrictions. They can't get them at pharmacies and they may have to wait several weeks for an available appointment at other clinics. A major deal in the energy sector to tell you about now, involving a company that operates here in northern BC. Cenovus Energy has signed a cash and stock deal to buy MEG Energy. It values the company at $7.9 billion. Both are major energy producers, together producing more than 720,000 barrels per day. The deal needs to be approved by a 2/3 majority vote by MEG shareholders. That's expected to happen in October. Air Canada says it will cover out-of-pocket expenses for passengers affected by the strike. This includes motels, meals, and ground transportation. Passengers can submit receipts through the airline's online customer relations portal, but Air Canada warns it may take 4 to 6 weeks to reimburse everyone due to the expected high volumes of claims. Nanaimo billionaire Ruby Lowe's plans to take over more than 24 leases of former Hudson's Bay stores has hit another snag. The team overseeing the credit protection case for the failed retailer says it doesn't think landlords should be forced to accept Ruby Lou as a tenant. Those landlords say Lou's team doesn't have retail experience, adding the timelines for renovation aren't realistic. Lou has purchased 3 leases at BC Malls that she owns. However, her deal to buy the other 25 has faced opposition from one of the retailer's biggest lenders and most of its landlords. A court is expected to hear arguments from both sides next Thursday and Friday. We turn now to developments in the stalled trade talks between Canada and the United States. It's a move Ottawa says should help kickstart negotiations. Next month, Canada will remove retaliatory tariffs on some products, helping the U.S. says it's long overdue. CTV's Abigail Beeman has the details.
After a phone call with the American president yesterday, the Prime Minister is now trying to sell Canadians on the idea that no new deal with the United States is actually the best trade deal in the world.
We're matching what the United States has done, what the president has done. We have the best deal of any country with the United States right now.
As of September 1st, Canada will drop counter tariffs on U.S. goods covered by CUSMA. Those have been an irritant for Trump, and the Prime Minister indicated that in their Thursday phone call, Trump said getting rid of them would kickstart negotiations. Carney saying they're now intensifying. In the Oval Office, the president now saying he wants to be very good to Canada.
He's removing his retaliatory tariffs, which I thought was nice, and we're going to have another call soon. Okay. Yeah, we had a very good call.
You're getting closer towards an agreement on trade?
I like him.
Carney is trying to sell this as matching the U.S., using that word multiple times, since the U.S. has no tariffs on CUSMA-exempt goods. But the tariffs that remain from the U.S. on steel and aluminum are higher than Canada's.
We're not raising those today. We've matched the tariffs on autos, similar structure as the U.S. We do have a difference between our tariff on U.S. steel and our tariff on U.S. aluminum. Those are part of the intensive discussions that we're underway right now.
Ahead of the announcement, the Prime Minister brought Cabinet together in a virtual meeting, and the minister responsible for U.S. trade briefed the rest of caucus after. Carney also said the renegotiation of CUSMA could take as long as 18 months to work out. Trade experts say what happens there will be the real issue for the long term. The Prime Minister is also promising a new, quote, industrial strategy in September for all sectors hit by tariffs, mentioning autos and agriculture in particular. The Prime Minister has long talked about diversifying trade partners in the face of the U.S. trade war, and next week he heads to Germany to work on that, bringing along a handful of key ministers with him. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is slamming Carney, saying he got nothing in return for Canada by dropping those tariffs on U.S. goods.
Mr. Carney, being the negotiator he promised he would be, that he would get something after giving something. But not so. Today we learn that it has been yet another capitulation and climb down by Mark Carney. His elbows have mysteriously gone missing.
Poilievre pointed out that Carney did not get anything in return for the removal of CUSMA tariffs. The Conservative leader says today's action continued what he called the weakness Carney has shown on the world stage. There are concerns tonight for those who rely on disability benefits after reports that some Canadians have not received them. CTV's Adrian Gabriel is following this story.
Canadians who depend on federal disability benefits have been left with an empty feeling at the ATM this week.
I checked and it's not there, and I went, okay, no breakfast.
In July, Ottawa began making payments through its new federal disability benefit that tops out at $200 a month for a total of $2,400 a year.
It lets them buy some essential over-the-counter painkillers, maybe, pay for their food, pay a backlog of bills and debt, pay their rent.
This past Thursday, Canadians living with a disability, like Victoria State, were supposed to receive the program's second payment. Many have been left empty-handed.
Excuse me, you started a program for people who are struggling.
CTV News called the Canada Disability Benefit Call Centre hotline. We were greeted with this voicemail.
Due to a system issue, some Canada Disability Benefit payments issued by direct deposit for the month of August 2025 will be delayed. We apologize for the inconvenience.
In March, Prime Minister Mark Carney eliminated multiple cabinet positions, including the now former Minister for Diversity, Inclusion, and Persons with Disabilities. Advocates say issues like this are proof that Carney's move was a mistake.
This basically means that we are lumped into a huge portfolio that the current Minister of Jobs and Families is responsible for. So we are not a top priority.
We asked the federal government for an explanation as to why payments haven't been made. A spokesperson didn't directly answer our question, saying in part, they are pleased to confirm that the majority of CDB payments are completed. A limited number of client payments remain outstanding due to an isolated systems issue.
You don't start a program and then drop the ball. Thank you very much. You people are getting a paycheck. You got a paycheck because you can get food. I don't got a paycheck and I got no food.
We've asked the federal government when all of the deposits are expected to be sent out across the country. As of our deadline, we've yet to receive a response.
An update to the case of 3 Quebec soldiers accused of terrorism by the RCMP last month. New court documents show one of the military members allegedly expressed a desire for a Waco-style massacre, referring to the deadly American standoff in Waco, Texas in 1993. The RCMP arrested 4 individuals in July for allegedly attempting to forcibly take possession of land. They're also being accused of starting an anti-government militia community north of Quebec City. 3 of the men were charged with facilitating terrorism activity. Police allege the suspects took part in military-style training as well as shooting, ambush, survival, and navigation exercises. They're also said to have conducted a scouting operation. During searches in January, police seized 16 explosive devices, 83 firearms, and approximately 11,000 rounds of ammunition. Mounties also seized night vision goggles and other military equipment. Newly released court documents reveal new details in the search for 2 missing children in Nova Scotia. Lily and Jack Sullivan were reported missing in May. The court documents include unproven statements by police. They reveal that the RCMP conducted at least 4 polygraph tests That includes the children's mother, stepfather, step-grandmother, and biological father. They all passed except the step-grandmother, whose results could now be analyzed. The documents also show investigators found a second piece of pink blanket confirmed to be Lily's in a trash bag at the children's home. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with weather.